once again to discuss things.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentleman Fan Film Reviews. I'm Sid Part 2, joining me today is...
Geek for fun.
Indeed. And Alfie, what are we talking about today?
Oh, we're talking about the big one. We're talking about something that ever since I started doing fan film reviews with Ian, I've always had in the back of my mind is I gotta get his take on this. I gotta know a fresh-eyed perspective on this. Because this was my child. We did the other kind of famous childhood Alfie thing, Super Mario Bros. Z, which I really enjoyed, but even as a kid, it wasn't as much as this. This is the thing that really, I think, got me in my core and explains who I am today as a person in many a way, and that is the fan animation, Nazo Unleashed.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I'd seen bits of this around before. Like, I remember I used to watch a Sonic YouTuber who would play, like, Generations mods. And, like, I remember one of the character mods he did was, like, Nazo. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And, like, I'd like, looked for fan films and fan stuff before, and I'd seen this come up. And, like, I'd watch... Like, the way I usually pick something for a fan film review, if I was kind of unsure of it, is I'd like click through it just a bit to see if it was like of a certain level of quality. And this is one of those things I'm like, I mean, for animation, it's close to that level of quality that I'd want to talk about, but I don't know. I don't want to be mean, so I'll just click away. Since like I didn't have any like dog in the fight to discuss it. But yeah, it was definitely interesting to go back and watch. You know, you're talking about it like it was your childhood, and I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. Because in order to get a mod of something, obviously it's got to like have some level of a place in the fan community. So like I was prepared for it to have a level of prestige. Alfie, you picked this at such an interesting time. Because when I was looking for it, I knew the version you were talking about was going to be 2D Flash animation. Did you know there's been a 3D remake of this by someone else?
Yeah, I saw that in the recommended. I didn't watch it though, but I saw it. It's like the next thing when you type it in on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So it's the second thing. It's already got like 2 million views, and I'm like, this happens on occasion, and it's honestly something that like, just to me it takes like a fan work and it puts it on like an upper echelon category of when it happens. And that's when your fan work is so big and so popular and so influential in the community that fans start making like spin-offs or different things connected to your fan work. Because the first time I ever saw it happen, and it was with the thing that got me into fan projects, was the Joker blogs. That was a fan series that was so popular and so influential that people started making YouTube channels trying to capitalize on what it was doing and trying to tie in with it. So you had like the Scarecrow blogs and the Riddler blogs and the Harleen blogs and just all that shit. And so anytime that a fan project comes out and then people start doing things connected to it, I'm just amazed by it. So the fact that we're years later after this thing's release, like when did this come out? Like 2005, 2006?
2006 is when it was released.
Yeah. So we're over a decade later, and someone has done a 3D recreation of it. Is amazing to me. I was looking through other videos just trying to get a sense of the scale of this thing, someone else, apparently before the original creator announced he was making a sequel, made a sequel.
Yeah, and it's got Mecha Nazo in it. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I was just like, holy shit, man, that's crazy. Like, that is such a cool level of like fan reach to me, that someone has done a thing like that. I honestly, like, I respect the shit out of it. The only other thing that I can think of that's really on that same level is, to an extent, like what Moscow X did with the Raditz What If, you know? Like, obviously Dragon Ball What If's things weren't created by him, but like, he did it and suddenly the whole fucking community existed because of it, you know? And this is, like, this feels very much like on that same level of just the kind of the shot heard around the world, the thing that started it all. As like a thing. So like, I was very impressed by the reach of this and the impact of it. But I'm sure that's not the part you were interested in hearing me talk about.
Yeah. So I just want to say this as well, just because I want to shout out the animator Chakra X who did it, and he's, again, like you said before, he's working on the sequel to this, and he's very open about animation tips and everything, and like the impact of the Sonic community and what he's done is pretty crazy. There's an interview on his channel. He's in 2009 when he's talking to Aaron like from Game Grumps about it. Like, it's like this thing was just so huge on Newgrounds, especially. It was like part of like that. If you were on Newgrounds and you watched animations, this was the one. This is the one that, even if you weren't a Sonic fan, kind of, this is the thing that like everyone talked about. Everyone like tried to copy, tried to emulate, and do to different franchises, but never to the same success. It really was kind of like the first of its kind, and the thing that like spiraled out, just the idea of like fan animated continuations of like a franchise.
So yeah, like I watched it, and like I said in the past, I'd kind of I'd come across it, and I'd flip through it and decided it wasn't of a quality that I'd necessarily want to discuss, at least not without having some kind of a connection to it. But that being said, it's not that means it's bad. Like, it's Flash animation all done by one person, and it all comes up to be half an hour long. That's a labor of love. That's a lot of intense work. And it's not like lazy Flash animation where they're just standing there and the mouth flaps, man. This is like dynamic action Flash animation. So it is impressive, but it is also its limitations are incredibly apparent. I'll put it that way. Its limitations, its lack of experience at the time is all very apparent, but that doesn't mean it's bad to me. That just means it is. I always look at these fan things as growing and reaching and just building opportunities for the people involved. And what I see here is someone who has an interest in animation and poured themselves into a personal passion project of a fan work, and came out the other side learning so much, because obviously this isn't, like, I watched a director's cut where it's all put together, but this was released in episodes. This was released, sporadically, and you can tell the quality improves, the tone, like, not just the quality of the animation, but like the tone of it too, because like that first episode, or like that first chunk of things is pretty rough, but then just as it goes on, it gets better and better. But there were still, like, choices and moments that like, I was definitely more laughing at it than with it. When fucking Shadow shows up at first, and he starts, like, dunking on Nazo, and doing his chaos control, and disappearing, and Dragon Ball Z boom, 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 booms, hitting someone around, moving so fast. And then he just appears behind him with a gun. It's the
that's an intentional gag, though.
I mean,
Because Sonic has the exact same reaction, where he's like, "Oh, come on!" Like, I think that's fully intending. You're supposed to be like, obviously, at the time when I watched it as a kid, I'm like, "Oh, yo!" But like on that scene, like Sonic's fucking like had this face palm him, and he's like, "Oh my god, this dude!" I think that's legitimately a really funny gag.
I mean,
Like, I
maybe
think that's
it's hard. Like, if you done that in like a prop, like if Sonic Boom did that gag, I would 100% agree. That is hilarious. Knowing the fact that it's a fan thing, I think you kind of have to keep in mind the way that like you don't necessarily get that good faith or that as good a faith reaction from it, particularly when this is so like action focused. So you could be right. It very well could have been done intentionally as a gag. It didn't feel like, okay, I would say I would agree with you if not like 10 seconds later Tails did not get murdered and Sonic went Dark Sonic. Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, it's just as... It's portrayed to me on like the same level, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a gag or if that's just... Because Shadow did have a gun, so it's something legitimately he would do. It's just so fucking funny.
Yeah, the Dark Sonic thing was definitely one of the moments that because when you're like a kid and like with Sonic X and everything, like Dark Sonic like shows up for like one scene in Sonic X, and he just like destroys these guys, and he never shows up again, and he never explain what it is. So it kind of turned into, you know, like when false Super Saiyan was a thing, and everyone was like, what does that mean? Why does he never do it again? Does he do it against Pycon? Like, the Dragon Ball fans go crazy. That's what Dark Sonic was, and that's where this whole thing comes from, actually, is Nazo itself is, like, its first form at least, he isn't an original design. He was taken from a scrap Sonic X villain that they never did. So, and then everyone was like, "Oh, this design looks so cool. It's like a Sonic character, but he's like a coloring, distinct, and stuff like that. So, what are we gonna do with him?" And this was where the thing was like, "Okay, let's make a story of what that would look like if we just made it Dragon Ball, basically." So, this fan work was doing a lot of like Sonic fan theories that we never got the answer to. Is like showing all of them, like, what if what do we do with the Chaos Emeralds and all the negative energy, like, just taking from the Shadow Dragon saga. But like Shadow's like guns at the time, because this would have been like right after Shadow the Hedgehog came out.
Yeah,
so that was
Shadow Hedgehog's 05.
Yeah, so that's pretty recent. That's not like a established
Which,
thing.
again, if you think about it, like in an animator's timeline, right? Like Shadow Hedgehog is 05. 06, he was probably working on it as either that game was still being played or he was still playing the game. You know, so it's hard to say. But yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, it was like touching on a cultural zeitgeist, but specifically Sonic, in that last thing we'd gotten was Heroes and Adventure 2, and like we didn't know what was coming, and then Shadow Hedgehog came out, and that was its whole thing, and we got Sonic X, but like this is like pre-Unleashed. This is...
Would this
never
have
heard
been...
of the word.
Because he's got the fucking he's got an image from Sonic the Hedgehog 06, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's from Adventure 2, isn't it? During the newscast. So would this have been pre Sonic 06?
Oh yeah, so this would definitely be pre Sonic 06. Maybe just after, because they do use a soundtrack from Sonic 06.
I mean, later in it that he does, but
yeah, so maybe it might have been coming out at the time, and they'd be like, "Yo, this music bangs," and puts it in.
Well, like I guess here's a question that I have, because there's a clear evolution of quality, not only of animation, but of writing, of dialogue and everything, and voice acting too. What was the gap between episodes?
I don't remember, because when I watched it, it was all finished.
Okay. So it's not like the first episode was 2006 and the last episode was like 2009 then?
No, it would have been all pretty close together.
Okay. Alright, that's fascinating. The sequel's over 10 years in the making. Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, like it's very impressive labor of love, but it certainly shows its wear and tear. Like I was just talking about the voice acting, and I remember, like even as late as like '09 and stuff. I can't even imagine what it was like in '06. Like the quality disparity of internet voice actors. I mean, we still have that now, but like people are better about it. But like there's clearly like a desktop stick mic in here for maybe like the Tails VA or something. Like there's some.
Well, you know, no, you know what's so funny about that though, Ian?
What's that?
Only VAs in this are Nazo and the news reporter.
So everything else is just
pulled from the games.
Okay, it's gotta be that like the
quality of the rip might have been bad, but then
these gotta be like recorded like next to the TV.
You gotta remember as well, the Tails VA in the Adventure era does sound that bad. Like that's not.
That's true.
Their mic was that bad.
That's true. That's gotta have changed by the end of it because like you literally have "I am Shattuck." Like
that's an edited line. Sonic, I'm Sonic, Blashatic, that's edited together.
Really? That's fully edited, that's not recorded.
This is all, there's not a single voice actor in this aside from Nazo and the news reporter lady at the beginning. Everything else, as they say, and they give it in the credits, and I can tell as well because I've listened to these games for things, it's all the OG VAs from the Adventure era.
That is incredibly impressive then, because I thought it was 100% just poorly, early 2000s voice acting.
That would have been more impressive because then they'd be like, wow, these guys sound spot on.
I mean, I don't, like, Sonic and Tails voices aren't hard to do, like, hey, I'm Sonic, I'm the cool guy. Like, that's just, it's easy to do a Sonic voice. Like, whoa, way past cool. That's just, everyone can do a shitty Sonic impression. Like, even the official Sonic VAs nowadays, I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're fine. You're no Jaleel White, though.
That's no good.
That's no good. Yeah, so, I don't know, I guess I have to retract that then, because the quality of the rip certainly could have gotten better, and I would say it does, because, like, by the time Tails is magically resurrected, when they give Tails the fucking sensu bean,
they use the healing power of the Namekians, the Echidnas, to heal up Tails.
Yeah. Like, the quality of the rip gets better and better. I'd almost guarantee that some of that first episode stuff then was probably just, like, literally holding the computer microphone up to the TV. It almost
probably
had to have been then, because it's just that like muffled and shit.
I guess then while you want to talk about VAs, because this is the one, what do you think of Nazo then?
I mean, yeah, I think he is doing a pretty good job. Is it the director, animator, or did he like get someone else involved?
Let me have a look in the credits real quick, because I don't remember who it is. Hedgehog. Yeah, I think that's a different person.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think he does a really good job, certainly. Yeah, like he's very believable, he's very intimidating. A certain Alfie Taylor ripped one of his lines of dialogue for his own project, and it is a fucking great delivery kind of line, kind of moment. No joke about it. I do dig it. He's playing, not Cell, not Omega Shenron. That's what he is.
But for a Sonic villain, I think that almost even fits a little bit more, because that's such a game mechanic thing of like the final boss that you have to keep the magical items, or that's just chaos again, but it's like making him a Hedgehog villain is something that all fans want to do, but the game series have never done it outside of Shadow.
What about Mephisto, the
Oh yeah, Mephiles.
Mephiles. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Mephiles is a hedgehog in name only. He's his own fucking special goo monster that takes the form of Hedgehog. It takes the form of a man, but it lies. It lies. Yeah, but I guess you're right. There are a little bit more like that, but I don't know. I think he again. It's just I look at this. I just remember as a kid, this is the coolest shit. It's just like the perfect Cell type villain who's like super proper and always in control. And well, Sonic and Shadow, you may believe like that type of Dragon Ball Z villain is just you eat it up. You eat it up with a fucking sponge. Obviously Eggman's the best, but like when you're a kid, you don't quite get the appeal of Eggman as much sometimes. So like the cool like key blast using thing, but even then I think like the idea of the Chaos Emeralds being used negatively, like with the same thing as the Dragon Balls, like the Shadow Dragon idea is really great because it turns the thing the heroes have been relying on against them. And it still, because the Chaos Emeralds of Dragon Balls, everything are very similar already, it turns the thing that has been used on by the heroes to solve their problems against them. And I really like the line, because it's like something that was an adventure, and they do a really great callback when we get to Shadow, when we get to the fusion. Where it's like they do the Takal speech of like the power is the one who unifies the chaos, and like that never meant anything in the game. It's just meant to be vague fantasy speech. But I think it's a really smart bit of writing to use that dialogue as the explanation for why fusion is a thing in Sonic, like, and then using chaos control to do it. Like, you could have made this just a straight fusion dance ripoff if it was a lazier writer, but they legitimately found a pretty convincing way where Sega came out and just said that Sonic and Shadow could do this. I believe it.
I mean,
like it's bullshit, but it's the same kind of bullshit that Sonic always does, and I think
if you want to write good Sonic, start by seeing what Dragon Ball did and figure out how far can you rip it off without getting sued. Then
yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, you're right. Like the fusion thing, it works. It's fine. It like the Chaos Emeralds are always a MacGuffin that just seem to get more and more powerful every time that are used, and they're used in every game at this point. Like they rebuilt the Earth in Unleashed, right? So I'm just like, I'm getting to this point, and like, but then on the other hand, I get kind of like, then why the fuck was one in a jewelry store? Like, what the shit?
Hey man, these things get lost, you know. One was in a frog.
I mean, that's like that's more believable to me. But like, they had to have known what they had. Like, this is, I don't know, it's just funny. It's just funny. So no, I mean the fusion thing was fine. I didn't like, again, I'm not going to complain about the fusion thing, because if I do, then there's like the elephant of the room, and that the whole thing is a Dragon Ball fight. Which, I mean, okay, I'll get a little persnickety here for a sec. I'll get on my fan high horse. As cool as some of the moves in here are, I do think if I were to see like a modern take on like this premise of doing a big fight episode kind of thing or animation for Sonic, I wish the fighting could be more unique to Sonic, and not just come off like Dragon Ball. Like, I think it's fine to have like the chaos spheres and stuff that Shadow kind of establishes are a thing, and you could have like Nazo have a similar kind of blast. I don't mind that, but just to the fact that everything is like punches and kicks, and it is very Dragon Ball. I would have liked something that was more like that speed duel in Generations between Sonic and Shadow. I would like something kind of that as your starting premise, and getting more epic with it, where it's just like it's in constant motion. It's just a race and a fight all wrapped into one. I think is something that would suit Sonic better. and not make it feel like such a Dragon Ball Z thing. It's fine that it is. Like, I can, you know, when the main franchise isn't afraid to again blatantly rip off something else, then yeah, there's no reason a fan work can't do it. But like, if it were me, I would like to see a more original kind of you know, combat system, as it were, for Sonic and Friends.
No, I definitely think that's valid. Again, I think the strength of the fan arc sometimes is you can be even more blatant about it than Sega could. And you get to have just the pure, like, yes, we all know Shadow's Vegeta, here's that taken to the furthest extreme possible, and I'm kind of here for it, just as a one-off. Like, I don't want this to be the status quo, but, like, as a fan thing, it was going to happen eventually, of just someone just doing just straight a Dragon Ball Z episode with its Sonic characters, and it's happened many times since this. But I think this being the first one to really do it, and at the time, again, blow up kind of everything else, because again, it's still really rough, but like 2006 standards, this is one of the best animated things they have on the fucking internet. This is really, really good for the time it came out when. And it's low-key got some more interesting movement than Sonic Dex did at the time. So, like, there's something really special to it, I feel like, on that level. I definitely think that this will probably go to a point I wanted to make about the moment I think likes the moment. Did you have, like, a favorite moment or, like, scene in this? Because, like, it's kind of split up into, like, different fights and stuff. Was there any one sequence that you were like, oh, this is the one where I'm having enjoyed it the most, or the one that, like, stood out the best?
I really liked when Nazo just kept, like, coming back. I thought that was just a cool dynamic in the fight, because we've, again, for as much of a Dragon Ball ripoff this is, I don't think we've seen a fight that's quite as balanced as this is in Dragon Ball. Like, maybe Goku versus Tien, where just, like, Nazo seems to have just this overwhelming advantage when he first shows up, but it very quickly dwindles, and Sonic and Shadow's speed, like, are able to, you know, they can't just take him down, but they can keep up with him. They can keep being a persistent problem for him, but he still has just more overwhelming power. And so as the heroes climb, the villain climbs. And I just thought that was a really cool dynamic to have it be as balanced a fight as it is. Because, I mean, your typical Dragon Ball thing is, how high can we make this wall? And this is very much not that. This is much more balanced, and I thought that was cool. As far as, like, a particular moment in all the fighting, I quite like the, there's no way I'm going to be able to say this without being made fun of. Is this a safe space? Is this, can I say things and not get made fun of? It's
a safe space, because I'm going to say some cringy shit when it gets to my turn, so it's fine.
Okay. When fucking Shadow loses the inhibitor rings and just goes ham and gets, like, his Dark Shadow moment kind of thing, almost. That was pretty fucking hype.
Yes, because that was on mine as well, Ian. You're my fucking best man. Oh, yes. It's like, because it's like, do it. Chaos. Blast. Can you see? Oh, it's so high. Like, the music timing of that is unparalleled. Like, oh my god. I mean, yes. I'm in section. It's trash. It's the most edgy, nonsensical, this is not what Sonic is bullshit. I don't give a fuck. It's so cool. Now, Ian, this is the safest. I'm the only one in the world who will support you on that much as I will. You've never been safer.
Yeah. No, I mean, because, like, it is totally like the Super Vegeta moment, right? But it is just so cool, and again, I like the way it's paralleled against Sonic, you know, because yeah, like the Dark Sonic earlier, and Shadow without the inhibitor rings is like a Dark Shadow. I thought that was really fucking cool. Like he's the even edgier version of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, he just starts laughing maniacally.
Mhm. You see,
Oh.
you're not dealing with the average ultimate life form anymore.
Oh man.
Yeah, that shit was good.
Special.
No joke. That was that good shit.
Yeah, I'm here for that one. For me, that was one of them. My other one is I really like the Sonic and Shadow, because this is what I think gets the closest to what you're talking about of being a Sonic thing rather than a Dragon Ball thing. Is I really like when Sonic and Shadow both like do the tag team Lightspeed dash.
Mhm.
They do the adventure like spin dash to charge it up thing from Adventure 1, where you have to get the blue energy around it, and then they just Lightspeed attack him, and then Sonic goes up into the atmosphere, and then he comes down and he kicks him from space, and that's like the coolest move Sonic's ever done. But it's such a Sonic. You can imagine Super Sonic doing something like that because it's so extra, it's so stylish, and it's a very leg-centric move, and you don't get a lot of like kick moves in Dragon Ball. I think that's a very Sonic style. Like, if you had to give Sonic an ultimate attack in Dragon Ball Z, it absolutely would be that of just coming to Earth so fast with just one kick that just takes people out. Oh, I love that one a lot. And again, this is another one for just the music timing. I really like when you think Nazo is dead and he's in that like afterlife realm, and he's like, oh wow, I survived? I can't believe I just fucking survived, this is great. Well, I'll just have to just get the emeralds again, and Shattuck turns up, and they start playing the instrumental version of His World, where it's like, dun, 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 dun. Like, oh, it's so good, and he takes the emeralds from him, he's like, you can't be doing this, no! And like, the moment of that always gets me like such a hype-ass moment, of how that's done, and like, because you think the fight's over, but this is like the final humiliation, the final defeat. That one always sticks out to me as well.
Yeah, that and the one you couldn't help yourself but steal a reference in Norse. Like, how do you have enough rings left to stop this?
Whoa, yeah! Like, again, I would have stolen the same song as well if copyright would have let me. Like, you don't understand how much of a fuck I don't give. Yes, and the fact that all the comments that picked up on that as well as that reference, one of my favorite comments I've ever got, because that was something where like, yes, that is the hypest Beam Clash start ever. Because Vegeta kind of gives that little bit, but he doesn't word it as bluntly. But I just love the fact of just being like, fuckers, like, get a load of this, like, it's so good. I get pumped up just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I rewatched that scene like I don't know how many times over the course of these years, an obscene amount. So I'm very Chakra X. If you watch this, don't be mad at me. You meant a lot, and I wanted to homage and steal a very, very cool moment from your thing. So please, it's okay.
It's okay. I'm telling you, as the person that plagiarized you, it's fine.
Exactly right. That means it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's a cool ass moment. And again, like, how mad can you be? You're working with a fan thing, and you're taking the tone and style of a different property too, and merging them together. Like, it's all fucking derivative when you get right down to it. So yeah, no, that was pretty hype. Yeah, it's good. It's very well done, even with considerations for the time. It holds up surprisingly well. Like, again, I had a hard time getting into it at first, but after I got, like, through some of the early parts, like, by the middle of it, it had me, and I was genuinely enjoying it. Like, 100% with it. It legit had me in a place. So, you know, I can't help it. It was fun.
Would you rank this higher than Super Mario Bros. Z?
Yeah, this is a lot easier of a watch than Mario Bros. Z. It again, the fact there's voice acting just really does help it. Like, even if the quality's bad and it's all composited from other material, the fact that there's voice acting just gives it so much more watchability than having to read every single little thing. That is just made Mario Bros. Z so tedious to get through. And like I feel like that still would have been the case even if I was experiencing it, you know, as it was coming out, as opposed to all in one sitting. This is a breeze compared to Mario Bros. Z. Like, this, I think, holds up a lot better than Mario Bros. Z does.
I would absolutely agree on that. Again, it's one of those things you go back to something like this, which was such like especially an internet thing. You really enjoyed as a kid, and you kind of dread going back because you're like, oh no, it's going to be bad. There's probably something racist in it that I just didn't pick on, something like that. You know, you like there's always that trepidation. But like, this is one of the few things that I came back to it, and I was like, no, recognize exactly what this is, but I still unironic. I just love it. I love it so much. I love every aspect of it. I love the clear passion of that one dude. It's just probably the most inspiring internet project I've ever seen.
Wow.
Me personally.
High praise, high praise. You got anything else you want to talk about with this, or you want to go ahead and go on to ratings?
So Chakra X, we're doing animations for DBDC. If you ever, you get that phrase, want to come join, please. If I could get a 30-minute Dragon Ball DC thing, it could be animated exactly like this. I've got voice actors. I don't give a fuck. It will be my favorite thing in the universe.
But Alfie, he's working on the sequel. What are you gonna? Would you abandon the sequel to Nazo Unleashed in order for your project to go forward?
No, you're right. That's going to be so good. I'm so hyped for that. You don't believe. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on it.
Okay. All right. I really enjoyed it, so I'll go ahead and rate it 3.5 out of 5. Jewelry stores that hold all objects of ultimate power.
Alright, for me, I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 5. Do it, Chaos Blasts! Because I can see all of me. I walk into your destinies. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Alright.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. Okay. So I got 3 possible choices to go for what we're gonna do next. They're all very long. The shortest is 2.5 hours. The other 2 are closer to 3 hours. But I'll let you choose the subject matter. Would you rather do Justice League, Batman, or Justice League Dark? Justice League? Alright, we're going to talk about Justice League Mortal audio drama by Devin Davis. And it's about 2 hours and 41 minutes. It occurred to me that audio dramas are a big fan thing that we've not tackled very often on this show. I think we've only done like 2 or 3. And so I wanted to try to incorporate some more of those. And I'd seen this kind of pop up, and it looks like nothing if not ambitious, so I wanted to give that one a shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. And until next time, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I'm the Philosopher.
And I am the champion of the oppressed.
And we are your geeky gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.